In today's video, we uncover a shocking true crime story that left even the most seasoned investigators horrified. The Florida motel has room 217. When the door opened, everything changed.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, man.
Jennifer Pergolisi was not there. Too quick, too rough, and too young.
Somebody did something. I mean, she's always up here making a fool of herself. That's all I know.
His story didn't make sense, though.
She says that I was cheating on her with an invisible.
So officers set out to find out why.
Now, I imagine her prostituting isn't an ideal situation, but how does that set with you?
I don't like it.
Cousins finally spoke up, and what he said changed everything.
I don't tell you that you but a lot.
Before we get into the full story, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more real-life crime stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. And let me know in the comment, which country are you watching from? I want to know how far this case is reaching around the world. Let's get started. The date was August 28th, 2022. Someone who worked as a housekeeper at a hotel in Bradenton, Florida, came to work. She did what she always did. She cleaned sinks, made beds, and checked off rooms while guests were away for the day. She knew that places like this didn't have a good name. A lot of trash was in the rooms, the smell got on your clothes, and the bugs never really went away. She didn't want to make small talk, so she kept her head down and moved quickly. Simple rules said to clean up and not ask questions. She took her cart to the second floor and put her main key in the door to room 217. Something didn't feel right as soon as she walked in. There was no sheet on one of the beds. Not too strange. Guests would sometimes break them and throw them away. The mattress didn't look right this time, though. It looked like someone had pulled it off its base and not bothered to fix it. She had seen people hide cash, pills, and even worse things before. She usually didn't pay attention to it, but today it didn't feel like the normal mess. She knelt down and pulled the mattress edge up, and there it was, the bloody sheet that had been missing. She turned on her radio and asked for help. The officers from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office were on their way to room 217 in no time.
217?
Fire and rescue had already been there for a few minutes. The 911 operator told them the basics, but as soon as they walked in, they knew this wasn't a normal call.
Oh, man. I did that.
After taking a few steps, they saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. All right, man.
The body of a woman is wrapped in bed sheets and put under the mattress, just like the housekeeper said.
Might as well get out of there. All right, guys, watch your step. Don't touch anything.
It was clear that someone tried to clean up, but there was blood all over the place.
Might try to clean up his bleach in there. 10-4.
There was no more question. This looked like the scene of a murder.
All that stuff somebody tried to do some serious fighting. Yeah. I mean, nobody wraps someone up like that underneath the bed and they just died naturally. No. Yeah.
The detectives showed up as the fire workers stepped back. The police officers who arrived knew what they were up against and were now in charge of the crime scene.
Are you guys taking over from the crime scene?
We're just taking a whole report, but what you need...
Okay, no.
Is everybody in 216?
It's a new crime scene. What went wrong was still being looked into.
I knocked, nobody answered.
No one answered at this point.
I don't know if anyone's in there or not.
The box spring was the only thing that was changed.
The only thing I did, fire brought up the box spring. The mattress was the way it was when we arrived. The only thing that was down was the box spring, and fire lifted it up when the maid pointed that she was under the bed.
The person who left that room tried to move quickly, but failed. The damage was already done, and now every little thing that was left behind was going to be looked at. I couldn't look away from the scene. People peeked out from behind their doors to see the police cars, bright lights, and people talking on the radio. One cop stopped to talk to the people next door.
Somebody did something. I mean, she's always up here making a fool of herself. That's all I know.
It wasn't really quiet here to begin with. People were no longer stopping at the hotel to rest for a while. People have been going there when they had nowhere else to go for years. The sheriff's office had put a mobile command trailer right there in the lot because things were so bad. It had seen drugs, fights, and other things. But this, it was something else.
Was she with anybody?
Always sits outside the door.
Okay.
So
Did you guys see her with anybody else yesterday, or
I didn't see her with anybody.
nobody? And you didn't
she's
hear
always just with that one young boy.
one young boy? Do you know his name?
He was unknown.
You know what he looks like?
Skin like that? I don't know.
Blonde hair, black hair, brown, white male.
I just don't know. Other people's drama, I don't want to be my drama, so I don't care.
All I know is it's some young dude.
Police to start with. A young white man who is no longer there. He wasn't easy to spot, but everyone there agreed that he had been with the woman lately. The woman was just a young woman lying there with so many cuts that no one could count them right away. They didn't even know her name. The detectives walked down the walkway and looked at the security cameras that were mounted along the path. They weren't plugged in.
You got camera right here. Oh,
They're all unplugged.
how come all the cameras are unplugged?
Yeah, that one's unplugged. The one down there is unplugged.
Everyone, all of them are. All of them.
Could a staff member from the hotel help? However, detectives could not disagree with what all the witnesses said. A young white man was staying with the woman. He was gone as soon as I saw him. They thought he was guilty just because of that. They thought that the motel's CCV would finally help them put a face to the name, but that lead also ended in a dead end. Even though there was a lot of confusion and only partial answers, one thing was becoming clear. The lost young man wasn't just a witness. He was the one they needed to find. Police couldn't use security video, so they had to rely on neighbors, motel staff, and anyone else who might have seen something to help them solve the case. A neighbor saw a lot of different kinds of guys coming and going from that room.
Is it a white male, black male, Hispanic?
He's my guy.
White guy?
But then you see white guys, you see black guys, you see
Oh yeah,
guys.
undeniably, there's guys.
So
that
those
come
guys
to
coming
see
in and
her
out.
all the time.
Undeniably, there's guys.
Because I'm constantly telling
the
mind
bitch
your
she's always
business,
with
stay
is a
away
white
from
guy.
these
Like,
people.
on a consistent basis.
But the police officer was only thinking about one person, the white man who lived with her.
Do you remember how tall he is, roughly?
5'8", 5'9", probably.
5'8", 5'9"?
Probably.
Sorry,
So basically, it's pretty much always a ruckus over here.
There was always drama, fights, and people messing with each other here. She no longer found anything surprising. The patrol cops told the detectives who were waiting outside the room about this. The specifics weren't very many, but they were enough to point the way.
I talked to the neighbors next door. They say it's constant in and out of drug addicts. But she's normally with some white guy who's about 5'8", 5'9". So that's about all they can tell me.
The police couldn't be sure who they were dealing with because the woman didn't have an ID on her yet, but they kept asking around.
Don't know her name?
I haven't even.
No, did the people know her name?
I don't think so. They just know she was here causing, saying they're all geeked out on drugs, constantly falling down the stairs.
Most of the people who saw her said she was always high and barely could stand. It could have stopped there. Rumors, hazy descriptions, and half-remembered details. But this time, the police had to check one more thing: the motel's records.
They check in.
I don't know when to check it. Said they've been staying for a month. Hey, Sergeant Jones, you still have the paperwork when she checked in? What time? When did she check in? The 21st.
The hotel records showed that she had been there for about a week. Jennifer Pergolesi, who is 26 years old, was written down. They were no longer just a body under a cushion. They had a name. Once the police knew her name, they did what anyone would do today. They looked her up. People in the room couldn't fill in the blanks that social media did. Jen Pergolesi wrote a lot, but she didn't have much peace. Even though her pages were active, the comments and answers showed that her life was falling apart. There were hints that she might have been on drugs, people wondering if she was okay, vague messages about feeling lost, and long pauses between photos. But the pattern that stood out the most wasn't about her. It was about her boyfriend, who they were now looking for. People kept seeing him in tags, notes, and pictures, and it was hard to look at them without thinking about what happened. There was also a memory of the white man in the lobby of the hotel.
Saw him walking past the subway around 11:30 with a black male, basically wearing red shorts. But they said he always goes down to the lobby every morning or every other morning and coughs. Okay. So if we don't have him on video here, if they have a video camera in there, we might pick him up on one of those cameras.
By late afternoon, the puzzle parts were finally coming together to make a face. The name had been said enough times. There was enough evidence from past run-ins to follow. Detectives now think Stephen Joseph Cousins, who is 24 years old, was the person who did it. While he did have a criminal record, it wasn't perfect. He had been charged with theft and trespassing, but nothing that would have been a big deal on its own. But it was enough with what they already knew. He was seeing Jennifer, and they had been together for a while. People saw them together a lot of the time and then not at all for a while. In some cases, like when things at home got rough, they would stay at a hotel. The police had what they needed. They knew who he was. Now, the only thing left was to find him. It was 3 p.m. when someone saw him walking through the Walmart parking lot a few blocks away. After an hour, there was another report. This time, it was at a petrol stop close by. The face and clothes are the same. He wasn't running yet. He was just going around the edges. As the cops checked corners and knocked on doors all over the area, a woman waved them down. She said she had just talked to him this morning. He was close. Very close. The search dog was brought in right away.
The lady who says he's in this area right now said that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna push up a little bit.
I just talked to him 5 minutes ago. He's over there by the big shop. Just said that he checked out and doesn't move.
Well, the best thing to do is when you get out in plain sight and put your hands up.
The dog then smelt something.
Hey, this is where he's gonna be in here. He's gonna be in here, guarantee it.
He was in that area of trees somewhere.
Show me your hands, bro. Show me your hands. Come out now. Come on out. Walk to me now. Walk up. He's sitting right here. Make sure you got your hands in view. Hey.
No, come here. Right to me.
He was caught on the ground close to where he had been hiding. A police cop saw something strange.
Hey, pick that up for him. Cigarette.
Hey, can you get gloves?
The cigarette will be bagged. DNA could be used just in case. Cold Sands was taken straight to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office and put in a small interview room with 2 officers.
Do you know why you're here? You know what we're here to talk to you about? Okay.
The police officers said their names and got right to the point. They
just like this. I figure they find you out there in the woods, okay? You probably haven't eaten. First thing I told them, I'll stop and grab them some food on the way in, okay? Because we just want to have an honest conversation with you and get to the bottom of what's going on, all right?
had to make things official before they could start asking.
Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
The room was quiet again for a moment after the rites were over. The cops asked the question straight out. What made Cousins think he was there?
What is it you think you're here for? Okay.
There was no surprise or doubt in his words. When they were asked who the victim was,
Who is the person that you murdered? Okay.
there were no changes in how the officers felt.
All right. So we got the hard part out of the way, okay? We want to hear your version of what happened.
They only wanted to know what went down.
And look at me, Stephen, okay? There's no right or wrong version. There's only the truth, okay? You can tell us a lot of things in here. You can confess to killing 50 people in here. But if the evidence that we have doesn't align with what you're telling us, then we know there's something wrong. Either we have to reassess what we've done or you're being dishonest.
Cousins said there was a fight at the beginning. Cousins said that Jennifer had told him she thought he was cheating on her.
Me and her were arguing, but she says that I was cheating on her with invisible women.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. And she tried to...
Okay.
He put up his hands to show them.
Let me see what you got there. No, don't take them off. That's what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
We'll
slices in my...
Okay, we'll look at them later. That's fine.
At this point, it was more important to know what had led to that moment.
And where did this happen at?
In the hotel.
Okay, is that the America's
Best Value.
Best Value Inn, and that's over there by McDonald's and Starbucks and all that?
Yeah.
Waffle House. Okay.
Time was the next thing they needed to know. Just when did everything happen?
And when did this happen? This was...
like early, evening.
Okay, so this is Sunday. So early evening yesterday, Saturday. If you had to get sun still up or down, do you remember? Still light outside. Okay. So before, say, 8:30 p.m. Okay. Do you roughly know what time? 7-ish? Okay.
Now that they knew when and where, they went back to the how, and more importantly, the why.
So obviously, you and Jennifer, you're at the hotel, right? You're in the room. And what are you doing when this starts?
She was getting home.
Okay. Okay. And you were doing what?
Laying in bed.
You were laying in bed. Okay. And is she in the same bed with you? Okay.
Now that they were listening carefully, the officers were making sure they knew who was in each bed. Small errors can blow a hole in a murder story like this, and they were already keeping a close eye out for them.
And there are 2 beds in the room? Okay. One closest to the door or the one closest to the bathroom?
Closest to the bathroom.
Okay. So you're laying in bed, she's laying in bed, and she starts in with this invisible people, you're having an affair. Okay. And then what happens?
Cousins said he was just trying to keep himself safe.
She tries to attack me because she's tired of me being a scumbag.
Okay.
And I defended myself.
Okay.
However, the officers were not there to believe short answers. They pushed him to give more information.
And describe that. What happened?
So I pushed her off me, and I got the knife.
They didn't hold back or build up their words. They just told the truth. What they wanted now was details.
What kind of knife? Like a fixed blade or one that you flip open? Flip open. Can you describe it? So it's not that's the whole knife, or is that the blade?
That's the whole knife.
What color?
Black.
Black.
The police asked her how many times he hurt her.
I'm gonna tell you, thank you. You wanna call? A lot.
The cop knew that Cousins wasn't going to talk on his own at this point, so they asked him short questions quickly enough that he didn't have time to think about the answers too much.
Do you remember where you said her? I know you said a lot. Okay. So what's going on in this moment? Okay. So you've disarmed her. She's tried to you've disarmed her. She is you now have the knife. Okay. And are we on the bed still? You're on the floor. Where at?
In between the beds.
In between the beds. Okay. And you're on top of her at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wounds in the neck are private. They're not about staying alive. They're meant to totally shut someone down. Then there was one more question, which was easy but important. It was a test of telling the truth.
And what is she wearing?
She had a white shirt on.
Okay.
And some shorts.
White shirt and shorts. Okay. And what are you wearing?
Camo gym shorts, and I don't think I had a shirt on.
Okay.
That was the exact thing that was found at the scene. Another thing that is set in stone. The picture was coming together piece by piece, and it didn't look like self-defense at all. The detective didn't just want to get a statement, he also wanted to keep it secret. Stephen Cousins didn't have a lawyer in the room, so the agent had to think about every move he made. He spoke in a calm, collected way to show the court that Cousins knew everything he said. There was no stress or confusion.
So you don't know how many times you stabbed her. Okay, but you just a lot. Okay. So how... And I know this is kind of a weird question, and I understand that you're probably in a little bit of shock at this point. And how long did this confrontation go on?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. And is that from the time that she tried to attack you, or is that from the time she started accusing you?
Attacking me.
Attacking you. Okay.
As the detective could feel the stress rising again, he took a step back.
Then what happened?
I was scared.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
He didn't push Cousins harder. Instead, he gave her some room to breathe. That will get them to talk more.
Let me ask you a question, because we're not trying to paint you as a terrible person. Okay, when you woke up Saturday morning, did you plan on killing Jennifer? Okay. Have you guys fought before? Okay. And is Jennifer a physical person? Get handsy with you? Okay. And what about you with her previously? Have you guys had, not that this matters, but have you guys had
confrontation before?
Okay, physical?
Domestics,
right. That's
in the past, yeah, so it's an ongoing thing.
And that was just what the detective needed. The subject of his speech changed from murder to their friendship.
How long were you two together? 2 years. And how long have you been together, like at the hotel? Not that hotel, but 2 years you've been together. So no matter where you were together, unless somebody went to jail. Okay. All right.
Cousins was used to the way things worked. He had been in and out for years. Mostly small things like theft and mischief, the kinds of charges that addicts keep getting. Jennifer also had the same amount of weight. She was used to being in courtrooms and county jails. For women like Jennifer who lived on the streets and worked to make ends meet, trouble wasn't always something they looked for. In most cases, it found you anyway.
So what happens after?
I took a shower, covering blood.
Okay.
It was easy to guess what the detective would ask next. He was interested in whether Cousins had called anyone.
Did you call anybody?
No.
Was anybody else there? Okay. What happened after you took a shower?
I left.
Where'd you go?
Just walked around.
That part wouldn't make sense to most people, but the detective was able to find it. The shock, shame, and horror of it all were too much. It made him go outside.
It's a lot to process. Okay. And then what happened?
I went back.
So now you got to deal with it, right? And this is probably stressing you out while you're out walking. Okay. All right. So you went back to the room. Were you still alone? Okay.
It got darker here.
And then what'd you do?
Tried to cover it up.
Okay. Describe to me. So you tried to cover it up. What does that mean? Okay. All right. What did you do?
Used the towels, the wipe the floors, everything. Took the bed sheets and wrapped her.
Okay.
And then I stuffed her under the bed.
Okay. And you did that?
One closest to the door.
Right. And you did that by yourself? Okay.
The police already knew this wasn't a chance act of passion. At least after the fact, it was worked out. It was already known that Cousins had killed Jennifer and tried to hide her body. The cops now wanted to look at every single thing. They had to know what he did, how he dealt with the situation, what he used, and what he left behind after she left.
And did you use a cleaner? No. So we found a bottle of Fabuloso in there.
That's from the cleaning ladies.
They're saying it's not theirs.
It's not mine.
Okay. All right, then. I believe you. And was it Tide?
Tide, yeah, there's Tide.
Was that yours? That was your, yeah. Okay, so you didn't use anything to try to clean up. You just water and towels.
The cops had already seen that the motel room looked almost too clean at this point. It looked like no one had been there at all since there was no mess or clothes. They then asked, where did all the stuff go?
Did you use any clothing? Did you throw any clothing out when you were done? Because the room looks vacant, right? So did you have clothing in there and Jennifer had clothing in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you took your stuff with you. And where's your clothing?
The woods.
Okay.
So the stuff, so the stuff that you had on, is it in the woods?
No, I threw that away.
You threw it, where did you throw it at?
In the dumpster.
That's in the dumpster right at the hotel? Okay, so, all right. So the dumpster at the hotel, that's the camouflage pants.
This information made it clear to the police where to look for physical proof, like bloody clothes, towels, or even the murder weapon if he threw that away too. Now, though, they needed to know what happened to Jennifer's things.
So when you walk out of the room and down the stairs, like looking towards Waffle House, is that the dumpster? Okay. All right. And was it in a bag or was it just loose?
In a bag.
In a bag. What color? You know?
Clear trash bag.
Clear trash bag? Okay.
She tried to look like she had checked out, but she hadn't. It was both a cleanup and a cover-up. Police were now putting together a schedule and making a list of evidence, such as the things he threw away, the things he packed, and the things he did in the hours after the murder. It wasn't just a confession of second-degree murder after all. Police had never seen Cozzens do anything else after the killing, like clean up, throw away evidence, or try to hide the body under the bed. He may or may not have known it, but he just gave the lawyers a gift. Getting rid of evidence led to more charges. That could mean even more years added to his term in Florida.
So we found some shoes in a garbage can right outside the door that have blood on them. Is that some of that went in there? But your clothing did. Okay. All right.
So that's her stuff.
Yeah, those are her shoes. And those sandals and stuff.
So, yes, the brown sandals. Yeah. Okay.
The detective then started to make the timeline more solid. He had to check that Cozzens' account of what happened matched what witnesses said, and when people in the neighborhood heard noises coming from that room.
So how long were y'all walking? What time do you think you got back to the room?
7:30.
Okay. So you weren't gone long. Okay. So you cleaned up.
I was scared someone was going to come to the room or something.
Right. Okay. So some people talked about hearing like some banging and yelling between like 1:30 and 3 a.m. We can't, like yelling around 1:30 a.m. and then some banging, not necessarily yelling, but banging. So we were just trying to figure out, was that in the time period you're cleaning up, or because I think you said you thought you killed her around 7:30?
I was sleeping at 1:30.
You were sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So and I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. What time do you think this? You said about 7:30.
He said the sun was still up.
Right.
What's up?
And then you went out and walked. And when you got back from walking, well, you took a shower. You went out and walked, tried to clear your head a little bit, I think, and wrap your mind around it. And when you got back, was it dark? No, it was still light out. Okay. All right. How long do you think it took you to get everything done? Her under the bed, clean up?
2 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Around 7 or 7:30 in the evening, Cozzens heard her. He then took a shower and went for a walk. He came back, cleaned up, and put sheets around Jennifer. Given that Cozzens was willing to answer questions, the agent used the time to look for the last important piece, the murder weapon. It wasn't on Cozzens when they picked him up, and it wasn't in the room either. Were he really ready to tell the truth? Now was the time.
Remember what you do with the knife?
Threw it in the lake.
You do the knife in the lake? Okay. Which lake?
By Sonny's?
Behind the hotel.
But the one Sonny's.
The one in the circle.
Okay.
Okay.
And whereabouts in the lake, do you know? Where were you standing when you tossed it? Do you remember?
Threw it up that window.
Oh, no. That lake that close to the...
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay.
Did you throw a lighter, a ring in the garbage at all?
Okay.
A lighter, a ring? Okay. Some stuff was just found. I just asked.
He also didn't just throw it and walk away. He kept looking at it as it hit the water.
So you could throw the right out the window?
You know, now that I think about it, yeah, I think you can. It's not a big window, but it's big enough to throw something out of.
This much space, I just like that.
Did you hear it hit the water?
I watched it.
Oh, did you? Okay, because at what point was this? Before, after you cleaned up, or during?
Before I cleaned up.
Was it before you left?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before you took a shower? Okay.
The officer knew they would need divers as soon as he said that. If what Cozzens said was true, that lake was now the scene of a crime. Once the agent knew where the gun was, he went back to a very important question. How did Cozzens know Jennifer was really dead?
Why did you think she was dead?
So much blood.
Right. Was she talking at any point afterwards? No. Not moving, making any sounds, nothing. Gurgling, right. Okay, I appreciate your honesty. I would expect you to say that.
A weak gurgling sound was all that could be heard. He knew after that. The police officer didn't want to directly accuse Cousins. Rather than being harsh, he tried to make it look like Cousins had only hurt himself, maybe by cutting his hand.
So you got scratches on you because she fought you? I'm talking about on you.
No, like there's stuff on my back of my neck right here.
Okay. I'm seeing. So you put those band-aids on you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I see. Yes. Okay, I just think it's the woods. Okay, you're gonna put it back on now. Probably get you some peroxide. You put some on that? Okay.
The police then brought him right back to the crime and told him exactly what he did after cleaning the room.
Woke up, packed up. Where'd you go? You just kind of hanging out in the area? Did you go to Walmart?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Was there... Did you go into Walmart to cool off, or you just...
To avoid the rain.
Okay. All right.
But Walmart wasn't the whole story. They knew someone else was with him.
So you left. Obviously, you didn't check out, right? You just left. Okay. Was anybody with you at Walmart?
Yeah, there was a couple times.
Okay. And one of those is...
Lonzo?
Zoe.
Zoe, yeah.
Lonzo.
And Crystal? Emma? Okay, is that Lonzo's girl?
Mm-hmm.
Emma? Okay. How do you know them?
I met them in 64.
You met them on 64? How long you been on Zoe?
Not that long.
Not that long? Mm-hmm. I know Zoe, too. So you met them at Walmart. Did you buy anything while you were in there?
No.
Nope.
Not them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Police had already looked at the security video. Once they knew Cousins had been inside twice, they had to make sure that his story matched the tape.
So what time did you link up with them today?
10:30.
Okay. All right. And then you guys hung out. At some point you ended up at Walmart. Were you there more than once today at Walmart?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Were they with you both times? No? Okay. The last time?
They came with me, and then I left, and then came back in, and they ended up going out the opposite exit. Okay. I met them out over there.
Okay. All right.
He was honest.
Did somebody come up to the room with you at some point?
Yeah.
Okay. And when was that?
This morning, 8, 9 o'clock.
Okay. And who was it?
A guy named Sharif.
Sharif.
People in the police force paid attention as soon as he said the name. It made a noise. Cher wasn't just any guy from the street. They already had a case file for him.
Remember his last name? His name is familiar. All right.
I know he's got a case here.
When you said Sharif, name sounds familiar.
Now the detective had to find out more. What did Sharif have to do with all of this?
How did he end up at the room?
I asked him to come over if he could ride.
Okay. Were you using a phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it your phone or Jennifer's?
Yeah.
Jennifer's. Where's her phone?
They took it.
Oh, okay. It was on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cousins had been giving the same replies up until now, but having someone over after the crime might be a red flag, unless Sharif didn't know about it. The detective had to make things clear.
Did you tell Sharif what happened? No. Did Sharif help you get rid of anything? No. Okay. And what's this girl's name? Emma?
Yeah.
Emma was never up there at the room last night or today?
No.
And...
Neither was Zoe.
Okay, Zoe wasn't up there either. Okay.
He was the only one there. The detective wasn't done yet, though. He was interested in whether Cousins had told anyone about what had happened.
Did you tell anybody what happened? No, you just kept it to yourself. Even when you were with them today, did they know something was up?
They could kind of tell.
Right, from your demeanor?
That, and then you saw the cops everywhere.
Right.
That's when the detective chose to tell him the truth, not as a trick, but to make things more personal.
You know, funny story. So we're out there, and the whole time I know you're nearby, right? I like, it's bugging me. I'm like, this happened.
Were you at Chevron?
No, I was in a pickup truck.
So were you talking about the Chevron station?
Yeah, but right in front of Walmart.
Were you there?
No.
Okay.
But because I knew you were in Walmart at 3 something, and then I think you were at Chevron around 4, and I'm like,
He around.
yeah, I'm like, he's around here somewhere. You know, I couldn't figure out, I just couldn't find any place you had to go, right? You didn't really have any transportation, and I figured you had little to no money, and so that's when I had everybody regroup, and I said, we got to find the guy, he's around here somewhere. The fact that you didn't run, told me, I felt very confident that you were going to own it and you were going to talk to us. And because, you know, even if I thought you were going to be a dick, we'd have still brought you food. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we deal with a lot of terrible people, and I'm not saying you're one, because I think the gravity of this is weighing on you pretty heavy.
Following Stephen Cousins' statement, police were eager to learn more about his case. What did he do before that night? What changed him into the person they see now? As it does so often in these kinds of situations, the answer came back to addiction, so the agent could talk to him like a person, not a police officer. She could relate to him on a deep level.
The Phoenix house is for drugs, right?
Cousins had been used for a long time. It was his best drug. He hadn't had a place to live since he was 17. He slept on friends' beds, in shelters, and on the streets when he had nowhere else to go for 7 years. For the past 2 years, he hasn't been by himself. Jennifer Pergolesi was also there. They were living together and getting by day, dollar by dollar. She used to. She would sometimes go out and find any way to make money. They usually fed him, even though he didn't like it. Getting by on the streets came first. Besides his friends and family, he didn't really have any family left. He wasn't close to his mom, and their relationship may have even been broken. There are too many broken promises, but he knew in his heart that she hadn't really turned away. Like him, she was just trying to get through her own storm. It wasn't just one moment in room 217. Years of chaos, pain, and decisions piled on top of each other until everything fell apart. Detectives kept coming back to the main question, which was what it all came down to. Or was that just the story Cousins told himself to fall asleep at night? Did Jennifer really try to hurt him first? He had said earlier that it was self-defense, but they needed to be sure now. They slowly pushed him to start from the beginning of the story so that it made sense from beginning to end.
Where did the knife come from?
I had it for.
You've had it for a while?
Yeah.
Okay. And where was it when she got a hold of it?
On the desk, next to the TV.
Okay.
Cousins said it was his, but as Cousins thought about that moment again, it became clear how heavy it was. His body was shaking, and his hands were shaking. The officer saw it.
See you shaking. See, I see you shaking, but I want you to eat something because you ain't your nerves bad. I can tell.
Yeah. Take a drink, man. Your mouth's probably dry as cotton.
I can see you fighting. Man, if you, it's okay to cry. Go ahead. There's nothing wrong with it.
Question that cut through everything else then came up.
He's looking for in his notes, but so was I. What was she wearing when this started?
The white spaghetti strap shirt, shorts.
Okay. Did you take those off of her? They're still on her? Okay. Why'd you wrap her in a sheet?
That one hurt. The answer wasn't in his words. It was in his quiet as tears filled his throat. The knife, the fight, and the second it all went down. After a while, none of it made sense as self-defense.
Obviously, there was a fight. Okay, there was a disagreement. There was an argument. There was a something. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me that she got out of the bed, went and retrieved your knife, and came back and tried to attack you. I'm just telling you, I'm not seeing the evidence that that's the way it went down. It feels to me like there was a fight. Something did happen, and you snapped. Am I right or wrong? I'm right? Okay.
Cousins finally said it. That's not how the story went. There was a fight. He lost it.
Did she get handsy with you? Or was she just like a chihuahua, just barking and nipping, and you just had enough? And you got up and grabbed the knife? Okay. Because you were done. And the injury on your hand slid down the blade, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
These are blade marks. Yours from slapping inside. Because I've seen those two are pretty deep. What hand are you? Right? Okay, you right-handed.
Before the last question, there was one that wasn't meant to point the finger. It was based on facts. Thought about calling the police?
Did you ever think to call law enforcement? And there's no right or wrong answer. No. You couldn't undo it.
After finally admitting that he killed Jennifer and no longer said it was in self-defense, it was time to look into the case further. Just what was different about that night? What finally broke him?
Have you ever been that? I'm going to call it like in a rage. Have you ever been in that place before where you were that angry? How often? A lot. A lot. So what made this time different? Was there more to it? Like to the fight? Because I'm looking at some of her past. Like she's a working girl, right? Was there some disagreement over that? No.
And how long you been with her? 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
So this whole 2 years y'all been going from place to place?
Yeah.
But Cousins knew that staying alive out there cost him something. Jennifer paid for them both.
How did you sustain your habit?
Now, I imagine her prostituting isn't an ideal situation. But how does that set with you? I don't like it. But you both had a habit, and that was the quickest way to defeat it?
It made him unhappy. Not a man would. They were both after the same poison, though. And in that world, you have to give up logic to stay alive.
So it must have been a real, like, yin and yang kind of thing in your head, I'm guessing. You know, like, you understand this is how things are, but you don't have to like how things are. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Honestly, did that send you over the edge? No?
Okay. So nothing happened in that regard. This was just, she was just on your ass and wouldn't let up. Every day. Every day.
Shit.
Yeah, like a chihuahua, like a barking dog nipping at you. I understand.
Nothing could be hidden at this point. Don't talk about self-defense anymore. Not any more gray places. Stephen Cousins had no choice but to say that he killed Jennifer Pergolesi. The officer sat down across from him and told him the truth. It wasn't a surprise what happened next.
Obviously, you're going to get charged with murder, okay?
Then he left Cousins alone in the quiet room where he was being questioned. Cousins slouched over a tray of fast food and sat quietly. The bandages on his hand still showed signs of fresh blood. The crime scene team was already working outside that room. Jennifer's brother Joseph, her stepdad Hank, and her grandpa John were about to get news that would stop the world in its tracks. Reports were being written. Jen Pergolesi was more than just a name in a file. She had laughed before. She had fought for her place in the world before. And on August 28th, 2022, she died quickly and cruelly in a small hotel room. For Cousins, though, the story didn't end in that jail cell. A few months later, the charges were raised from second-degree murder to first-degree murder with intent. It was brought up in front of a grand jury, and by January 2023, Cousins was officially charged with murder in the first degree. He could have gone to jail for life, but he chose to plead guilty instead of going to trial and taking a chance. Being found guilty, he went in front of the judge and got a 60-year term for second-degree murder with a weapon. Even though he was only 24, Cousins would spend most of his life in jail. There was no secret about what happened in that motel room. It was a slow, sinking tragedy that you could almost see coming if you paid close enough attention. What was the hardest part? Right now, there are more stories like this in different rooms with different names. Jennifer did not have a funeral with lots of cameras. She did not get any protests or vigils with candles. She disappeared without a trace. People didn't notice for a while, but we did notice. Now you do too. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as shocking as we did, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into true crime. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.